All right. So are you ready to dive into this Premier League recap?
Absolutely. Fire away.
Okay, cool. So you sent over this, well, the title's a bit of a mouthful,
Yeah, tell me about it.
but it's called Use Microsoft Word Pre.pdf. It's a super detailed recap of all the action from Matchday 23. And wow, just looking at it now, some of these results are wild.
Yeah, it was a crazy week. Definitely some big surprises, upsets, last-minute goals,
Yeah.
classic Premier League drama.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I think what's interesting about this match day is that it's not just about the individual results. It feels like we're seeing some bigger trends emerging that could really shake things up for the rest of the season.
I agree. I mean, you can definitely see some tactical patterns developing, and certain teams, well, let's just say they're really starting to hit their stride.
Exactly. Okay, so let's jump right in. I mean, we have to start with the battle at the top of the table, Arsenal.
Yeah.
They are just on fire right now. That 4-1 win against Wolves, that wasn't just a win, it was a statement.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Wolves are a tough team to beat, but Arsenal, they just completely outclassed them. It was a masterclass in midfield control and attacking efficiency.
It's like they're playing with so much confidence right now. Saka and Jesus especially, their link-up play is just unstoppable.
Yeah, they're clicking. And their movement off the ball is so intelligent, they just seem to know where each other's going to be.
I have to admit, I was a bit skeptical of Arsenal early on in the season. Thought maybe they were overperforming, but they're proving me wrong week after week. It's not just luck at this point. They're the real deal.
Definitely. I mean, Arteta has really built something special there. This consistency we're seeing, it's not just about individual talent. It's about a system, a philosophy, a team that's playing with incredible unity and purpose.
Absolutely. But we can't forget about Manchester City. They're right there, breathing down Arsenal's neck. I mean, that 3-1 victory over Chelsea was a clinic in attacking football.
Yeah, City, they just have this relentless attacking power. Holland, Foden, De Bruyne. I mean, it's almost unfair how many weapons they have in their arsenal.
Then they just seem to be able to score at will. But even though City won convincingly, I did feel like Chelsea put up a good fight, at least in the first half.
Yeah, they had their moments. But ultimately, City's quality just shone through. They control possession so effectively, and their movement in the final third is just so fluid.
It's going to be fascinating to see how this title race plays out. I mean, we've got these two powerhouses, Arsenal and Man City, both looking unstoppable. So what does this mean for the other teams that are fighting for those Champions League spots?
Well, the race for the top four is going to be absolutely intense. It's going to be a real nail-biter, that's for sure. I mean, take Manchester United, for example. They barely scraped by Fulham 1-0.
Yeah, that was a close one.
Yeah, Fernandez saved the day with a late goal, but it wasn't pretty.
Definitely not their best performance.
No, but you know what they say, a win's a win, especially when you're chasing those Champions League spots.
True enough, every point matters. And speaking of crucial wins, Liverpool finally seems to be finding their groove again. That 2-0 victory over Newcastle, it felt like the Liverpool of old, you know?
Yeah, they looked much more solid defensively. And Salah, well, he's just different class, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. That goal he scored, pure magic.
His movement, his finishing, it's just world class.
Yeah.
And it's not just him. The whole team seemed to have more energy, more intensity.
I think getting that win was a huge confidence booster for them. They needed that.
Definitely. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they can build on this momentum.
Okay, so we've talked about the title contenders and the teams fighting for those Champions League spots, but let's not forget about the other end of the table. The relegation battle is heating up too.
Oh, yeah, things are getting really tight down there. Bournemouth, for example, they're in a tough spot after that 3-1 loss to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, that was a rough one for them. Their defense just couldn't handle Forest's attack.
They've been struggling at the back all season, and it's really starting to cost them points.
It's funny, though, how their struggles highlight the opposite for a team like Burnley. I mean, sure, they only managed a 0-0 draw against Sheffield United.
Yeah, not the most exciting match, I'll admit.
No, not at all. But that clean sheet, that shows you just how solid their defense is.
They're a tough team to break down, that's for sure. Very organized, very disciplined.
Exactly. And in a relegation battle, that kind of defensive resilience can be the difference between staying up and going down.
Absolutely. Every point is precious.
All right, so we've got the high-flying teams at the top, the scrappy contenders in the middle, and the desperate fighters at the bottom. And then you've got teams like Leicester City who just throw a wrench into everything.
Oh, yeah, that win against Tottenham was a shocker.
2-1, and they completely outplayed them. Madison, he was pulling all the strings.
Yeah, he was fantastic. His vision, his passing, his creativity, it was all on display.
I think Tottenham might need to rethink their defensive strategy.
Yeah, maybe time for a new mascot, too, while they're at it.
But speaking of exceeding expectations, Brentford, they just keep on rolling. Another comeback win, this time against Crystal Palace.
They're a tough team to beat, that's for sure. And Tony, he's just a goal-scoring machine.
He's been incredible this season. And it's not just the goals, it's his all-around play. His hold-up play, his link-up play, it's all top-notch.
He's quickly becoming one of the most complete strikers in the league.
And it's not just about individual brilliance either. Brentford as a team, they're well organized, they have a clear plan, and they execute it perfectly.
They're a great example of a team that's greater than the sum of its parts.
It's that classic underdog story, A team that nobody expected much from, but they've come in and proven everyone wrong.
And they're so much fun to watch.
Yeah, they really are. This match day, though, more than anything, it just reminded me how unpredictable the Premier League can be.
Oh, absolutely. You never know what's going to happen week to week.
Upsets can happen at any time. That's what makes it so exciting.
Exactly. You can never take anything for granted.
And that's why we love it. So, with all this talk about schemes and tactics, we can't forget about the individual players who are lighting up the league.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already mentioned Salah. He was brilliant for Liverpool.
Yeah.
But there were so many other standout performances.
Absolutely. I was particularly impressed with Tony, as we were just saying. But what about you? Any other players who caught your eye?
You know, besides Tony and Salah, I think Maddison deserves another shout-out. His performance against Tottenham was truly special. He was dictating the tempo, creating chances. It was a joy to watch.
Yeah, he really ran the show, didn't he? But I guess what's really interesting is that with all these incredible individual performances, it all comes back to the bigger picture, right? I mean, these individual stories, they're all part of the larger narrative of the Premier League.
Exactly. And as we head into the crucial part of the season, every point, every goal, every tackle, it all becomes even more significant.
Absolutely. So, I mean, thinking about those top teams, Arsenal, Man City, the pressure's really on now, isn't it? I mean, they can't afford to slip up, not even for a second.
No, not at all. I mean, they need to stay focused, maintain that intensity, that winning mentality, because the teams behind them, they're hungry. They're ready to pounce on any mistake.
It's going to be a real test of their mental strength, that's for sure. And speaking of pressure, let's not forget about the teams at the bottom of the table. That relegation battle, it's just as intense, maybe even more so.
Oh, definitely. For those teams, every match is like a cup final. They're fighting for their lives, their Premier League survival, and that kind of pressure, it can do strange things to a team.
We've seen it time and time again, haven't we? Teams that look like they were down and out suddenly find a new gear, a new determination. It's amazing to watch.
It really is. And it just goes to show that in the Premier League, anything is possible. There are no easy games, no guaranteed results. Every week brings new challenges, new surprises.
That's what makes it the best league in the world. So, before we wrap things up, I have to ask, is there a particular match you're looking forward to in the coming weeks? Anything that really jumps out at you?
Ooh, that's a tough one. So many great matches coming up. But I gotta say, I'm really intrigued by the Liverpool versus Manchester United clash. That's always a fiery encounter full of passion and history.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That one's going to be a cracker. Well, I think we've covered just about everything from this incredible match day 23. It had it all: high-scoring thrillers, stunning upsets, last-minute drama, and of course, some incredible individual performances. Thanks to your fantastic match report, Microsoft Word PDF, we were able to really delve into the details and uncover those hidden storylines that make the Premier League so captivating.
It was my pleasure. And, it just goes to show that every match day brings something new, something unexpected. And as we move closer to the end of the season, the stakes just get higher and the drama intensifies.
That's it for this deep dive into Matchday 23. But the conversation doesn't have to end here. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this match day, what surprised you, and what you're most looking forward to in the coming weeks. And as always, thank you for joining us on this journey through the beautiful game.